a true sweetheart of country music, today on the Music Universe podcast. Hey, buddy, how are you?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm good. It's been a little bit since we talked. What have you been up to?
It has been. We've had quite a few interviews, so we've been able to, pace conducting more out a little bit, and been getting them out weekly as we stopped doing the twice weekly, and just following the news like always. And we've started a new show since the last time we've recorded a podcast episode, which is fun, and we've been focused on that, and just getting that news out there. How about you?
Oh, same thing. Just been busy with some family stuff, and it's good to have stuff in the can because when you have to step away for a little bit, it can be a little daunting to come back. But I'm glad to be back at it. Feels good to get back in the routine.
Yeah, because up till this interview, and even beyond this interview, we've got stuff that hasn't aired that we've recorded right when the quarantine happened. So we've got quite a bit of material here. In fact, you figured it up. We have roughly probably now a year's worth of shows, if you think about it.
So it's good. We have a lot of content. Some content that with our raps that we've done already are going to seem dated. So.
Yeah, so keep that in mind when you guys are listening. We usually put that in the text, but we don't re-record our raps because it's at a time.
We'd be re-recording everything.
Yeah, right.
So, anyway, our guest today is Kelly Lang. She is a country music star in her own right, and she is the wife of another country music star, T.G. Sheppard. Tell me, buddy. What's the single? The single is Drive, I think, that she has out now from her album that's coming out in September. You have that information in front of you, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's called Old Soul. It's a covers album featuring 14 tracks, critically acclaimed songs and highlights. It comes out September 18th, and you're correct. Drive is the first single from that.
Great. She was so much fun and so down to earth to talk to. It's very rare when you talk to somebody and you feel like you've made a new friend, but I know that we felt that way, and I think she felt that way too because she wants to come back.
And she was super sweet. She actually sent us a nice thank you card, so
yes, she did.
Appreciate that, Kelly. And just for fans that are unaware, the single Drive was originally performed by the Cars back in the 70s.
Of course. Drive cars. Anyway, wonder if that was intentional. Pun, Anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty punny.
I'm sure it was. Anyway, here's our interview with Kelly. Kelly Lang, welcome to the Music Universe podcast. How are you?
I am wonderful, and how are you guys?
We are great.
Oh, I'm great.
So
you have been today.
Oh, it's a thrill to have you. You've been busy during this quarantine. You've released a new single, Drive, and it's a remake of the same song by the Cars. Why this song and why now?
Well, I've been working on this project for over a year, actually. And luckily, we were able to do all the recording prior to the pandemic and do a lot of the promo things that we kind of set aside. And, I just thought, when do you release this? When is the best time? And I felt for a while we shouldn't do anything, but I know myself, I love to learn new things and listen to new songs and find out about artists that I might not have known before. And I thought, you know what, maybe this is the perfect time. And especially with these type of songs, they bring people back to a safer, simpler time. And I thought this might be the perfect situation for these songs that might bring up really great memories for people. So that's why we decided to go ahead and release it.
Yeah, and it's coming out September 18th, right?
Yes, the full album will be out September the 18th. So we're filling our time with letting people know about it and, allowing them to hear the song Drive so they'll kind of get a taste of what's coming. And now you can go to the smart URL and listen to, a pretty big majority of each song on the iTunes link.
Great. Tell me about the album. Tell me about the process there and your decision to release it in September. What does this album mean to you creatively?
Creatively, it is it's been a really fun project and a great outlet for me. The last album that I did was called Obsession, and it was an album of all original songs that I wrote, and all of them by myself. I didn't have any writers along with me on that, and I produced that. But I just wanted something lighthearted. I wanted something to brighten people's day, bring them back to a time when they were, just more easygoing in life. And some of these songs you hear still playing in the airwaves at the grocery store or at getting your car done or something,
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, what are my favorite songs? What did I grow up listening to? That was my decision as to whether they made the cut or not, And, it's really funny. It was hard narrowing these songs down because there's thousands of songs that you could choose from, that would bring you back to a different spot in your life. But these in particular, and I think we've got them from 60s to the 90s, of songs that I grew up with, that meant something to me as a child.
What are some of the other songs on the project?
Well, we did a song called "Can't Take My Eyes Off of You" by Frankie Valli. We did "You've Got to Use Your Imagination" by Gladys Knight. "Every Breath You Take" by Sting and the Police, and "All by Myself," an old Celine Dion song. So it just they reach a gamut, it's just all over the map. But songs that meant something to me if you tie them all together.
Yeah, it sounds like a big influential project as well. Not just something that means something to you, but just all these artists sound like what you're made of.
Yeah, if you were to open me up, you would see all these music things running out of it.
I love that.
I have lots of influences.
I love that. Yeah, does that make a project like this easier or harder? Because I know often when artists do these kinds of albums based on their inspirations, it's hard because you're so emotionally attached to all of the songs that you want to do, but you have to cut it down to album length. How did you decide what songs to do when they mean so much to you?
Well, I'm a very emotional person, and I wear my heart on my sleeve. And I would find myself either when I would hear something on the radio, it would spark my interest. And if I would smile when I would hear it, or if I would cry when I would hear it, I thought, if that piques my emotions, maybe it would the listener too,
Mm-hmm.
And so I just kind of kept narrowing down. The final song on the album is All by Myself. And I had basically completed the album until I went to see Celine Dion in concert on my birthday in January. And guys, I've seen her before, but something about her performance of All by Myself that night moved me to tears. Embarrassing tears. I had an ugly cry going on. But I was thinking, wow. And I was feeling a bit jaded up until that point. And then I thought, oh my gosh, I can still be moved by words, music, vocal, whatever. I don't know what it was, but it was magic. And you could tell everybody else was feeling the same. And I thought, now that's a way to end this album. I'm going to try it. And, the thing is, you said it was hard. The part that I find to be hard is that I am not trying to beat any of the versions. The originals are always the best, okay?
Mm-hmm.
My intention is to just honor these great songs. And just the fact that I recorded them doesn't mean I'm trying to beat them. It just means that I love them so much. I wanted to, share my version of them.
Sure. Plus, All by Myself kind of kind of just makes the quarantine even even better.
I know. I now look like Bridget Jones eating ice cream when I sing it, but hey.
Well, you are not all by yourself. You are one half of a famous country married couple, T.G. Sheppard. What have you both been doing? Has this quarantine brought you two closer together? I know your love is so deep and so special. Has this brought you closer, or have you learned that you can't stand each other? No, I'm kidding.
We're closer because we've eaten ourselves out of the house. Oh my gosh, I have cooked more than I ever want to cook again, and then my refrigerator broke in the middle of this. I've been several weeks without a refrigerator, so it's been kind of a challenge.
Oh my gosh!
But we have loved this, and I don't mean to demise or to diminish anybody else's bad times, but we had been going probably too fast and traveling too much to where this has been a beautiful pause for us. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm ready to get back on the road.
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready to go back to performing again. He is too. But I wouldn't have chosen this for ourselves. But this pause button has been a lovely refresh. We spend more time talking, and we love to binge watch TV, and we drive out in the country, and we wouldn't have had time to do any of that. So I love it.
What do you watch? What do you watch?
Oh gosh, we watched Ozark.
Yeah, that's great.
Oh yes,
That's great.
Ooh,
love
that was
it.
good. We started watching Queen of the South, but I don't know. I'm kind of wavering on that one. We've about 3 seasons in.
Mm-hmm.
Oh goodness, I mean, we watched Hallmark love stories.
Oh yeah.
Depends on what mood we're in.
Oh, absolutely. And I think we've all kind of realized how fast we've all been traveling or doing our day-to-day life that we've taken for granted. And this has really, like you said, put that pause button. It's made so many people reflect on what they want to do or should be doing in life that a lot of people are going different directions now. Anything that you've kind of learned out of this, minus, the fact that you guys were just going too fast?
I started playing more on, well, not really playing, I'm working more, learning skills on the computer that I probably wouldn't have taken the time to do. And I've gotten quite good at editing some things. So that's been kind of fun to learn. I would think I would have gotten back into painting, because it's just kind of you're sitting still doing nothing. But
Right.
my brain is such that I can only really reflect on and do things one at a time. Like I'm now focused on music and this album and, talking with precious people like yourself. Whereas if I'm not painting, I have to be doing music or vice versa. I can't do them both at the same time. So maybe I'll pick that up in the fall. If this pandemic continues and the album's already out, I'll start painting again. But, cooking, I guess. I don't enjoy cooking, but I now know I can. But I was told never to let a man know what you can do because you'll end up doing it for the rest of your life. So I'm trying to not let him think I can cook.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Have you how are you with technology? How have you embraced it during this quarantine? Any ideas as to maybe doing virtual shows to promote the album? Anything with technology and fan engagement?
Well, I personally am. I would like to be more knowledgeable. I will say that. I've learned a lot, enough to make me dangerous, truthfully. But I am so grateful for the team that I have built around me that are very knowledgeable, and I'm learning vicariously through them about what to do. I didn't even know some dots needed to be connected, so I'm grateful to have people that know more about what I needed around me. But speaking of the virtual show, before the pandemic, before all this went down, I had already an intention of doing a CD release party via Facebook Live. And of course, now that's the thing that people are having to do.
Mhm.
So I may or may not do that. I really haven't put a lot of thought into it because the quarantining here in the Tennessee area is so strict still. It's to
Yeah.
get a band together. It's not easy right now, and I don't know if I want to do that without the live feel just yet. So we may pause and put a pin in that one and do it a little bit later when it's more safe.
Yeah, Matt and I were talking before this. He goes to many concerts a year, and I go to as many as I can. But this was like the first year I probably was planning to attend like 4 or 5, with a couple of them actually being out of town. And we actually had tickets to Garth's Vegas show that just got postponed. We found out this morning, which we anticipated anyway. And Matt was like, well, I think it might happen in February, no matter what. And I'm thinking it depends, obviously, on the CDC guidelines. But what would you feel safe if, social distancing and masks were still required? Would you feel safe to maybe playing to a sold out crowd and doing meet and greets? Or would you kind of maybe second guess that?
I would definitely second guess. Before I felt I was invincible and that it wasn't going to hit us and that was just for somebody else. But we have several people very close to us now that have been dealing with it, and it's life altering, and it's, you tend to pause. Like TG has had heart and lung issues in the past. And, neither
Yeah.
of us are spring chickens at this point, so I do pause, and I do, I'm more protective over him than I am myself. If he were to go do a concert now, I would beg him not to do the meet and greet. Of course, we both love our fans so much that it's hard not to hug somebody or, shake their hand and sign something for them. So it's that's been the hardest part for me so far, is not connecting like I once did, because I'm a very, affectionate person. But as far as the concerts go, I wouldn't mind it for myself so much, because, I would be distanced myself if I was on stage, but I would worry about somebody in the audience, getting hurt. And, TG was going to do some backyard concerts at one time and keep social distancing and the mask and all that kind of stuff. And he would not have had to have gone, be around a group of people. He could have kind of been isolated. So he was looking forward to that. But one of them turned out kind of a disaster, because some people were very against the social distancing part and wearing a mask part. They threw a kink in it, and it caused the whole series to be canceled. So
Wow.
that makes me sad, because we're trying to figure out ways that we can bring our music to people and still have a little bit of normalcy. But, there's always that one bad apple that changes the situation. So we're still trying to figure that out.
Yeah, and we spoke to Roxanne Atwood back right in the middle of the quarantine, and she's pretty confident concerts moving forward are going to change, and that meet and greets are going to be maybe few and far between.
Well, that makes me sad. I have to agree with the fact that we have to all be precautious and watch over one another. And, I don't know. I miss the old days. I'm just not. That's the part that I struggle with the most. It is what it is, and hopefully it'll leave as fast as it came. So that's my hope.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we all hope that, because I love going out and seeing concerts. Do you go to concerts? Do you go to concerts as much as you perform them? Do you like being in the audience and seeing those people, especially around Nashville? Yeah.
Well, it's a little difficult for us to go out and really be able to relax and enjoy concerts in Nashville. We love it. We love when people come and are so kind and, want to meet us or whatever. It's so wonderful. But it's hard to just kind of chill, and enjoy music. But we do on occasion, if friends of ours are performing or something, we love to go and be entertained. If you're the one entertaining all the time, it's nice to take a moment to be entertained yourself. We love going to the movies for that very matter. And I think I've missed that, the most, because I love to tune the world out and just kind of get lost in a movie theater and popcorn and M&Ms.
Nothing wrong with that.
Hopefully that'll come back at some point too,
Oh, yeah. Regal is eyeing a mid-August opening for 50% capacity, so we'll see. But well, I love that you're out there doing music, writing music, trying to engage as much as you can. Love the new single. Looking forward to the new album. This was just so awesome. Please come back when you're back on the road, and we'll come see you.
Well, you guys have a wonderful day, and I really appreciate your time. I look forward to releasing more of this music for you guys to share with your fans, okay?
Oh, thank you so much.
Absolutely. We look forward to talking with you again. You're such a sweetheart. Thank you so much. This was lovely. Really. Thank you.
Thank you. Y'all be safe, okay?
You too. Take care.
It's funny that she raps with All By Myself, and I of course I made that joke during there, but
Yeah.
that's a cool way to end it in a subtle manner, if you will.
It's going to be really, really great.
Yeah, and she talks about just all the different tracks she covers, and we didn't talk too much though about the songs that she's written that others have covered. Ricky Skaggs, Lori Morgan, The Oaks, Crystal Gale, George Jones, BJ, of course, Jimmy Fortune, Jerry Lee Lewis, TJ Shepard, Johnny Lee, just all kinds of people have covered her songs. So, we talked more about the album more than the songwriting, but it's great. Maybe we have that material for next time when we have her back.
Well, I hope so too. And you know what's weird? Was such a nice, light-hearted one to do. Not weird, but interesting considering the last really big batch of stuff we did was all around this Lady A controversy.
Mm-hmm.
And now there doesn't seem to be anything huge happening in news that's big and controversial. Seems like things have calmed down a little bit.
As far as music, yeah. Yeah, a lot of people, I think, have just finally coming out with music that they've recorded during the quarantine. Since this has been, the interview's been recorded, I know Winona recorded a covers EP. Just a bunch of people just finally releasing music. Luke Combs is reissuing his blockbuster album from last year with 6 new songs, including 6 Feet Apart. I believe that's at 2 CD sets, so there's like 23 songs. So they've all been busy recording, which is great because tours, I mean, we've talked about it on this show. I said it wouldn't happen this year. They're all pushed back till mostly mid next year, and we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, but I don't think it's going to be 2022 till we see stuff again. It can't. It can't. Otherwise, We'll never see live shows again. Like, we can't let it go that long. But that's a topic for another day.
Mm-hmm.
For the Music Universe podcast, I'm Matt.
And I'm Buddy. Thanks for listening, and keep checking us out at themusicuniverse.com, all of our socials, and hosting Weekend Notes with Matt, and I Do Your Notable Releases on YouTube and Instagram TV.